Hey friend, it's Ange here, and today on the podcast, I'm being really vulnerable with you, and I'm sharing with you 7 thoughts that I had before I found career alignment, and also 7 thoughts that my clients had had before they found career alignment. And they're the same 7 thoughts. And the reason why I'm sharing this with you is because I know that there are people out there right now that are questioning whether they should stay in their current career or if they should leave or what they're really wanting to do. They're just feeling like unfulfilled with how they are working now. Maybe at one point in time, it was fulfilling to you. Maybe it served you at one season of your life. But now that things have changed and you have changed, you're like, I don't really feel like this is for me anymore. I don't feel like I'm honoring my greatest values or I'm living life the way I really want to live. So I'm going to talk with you about those 7 consistencies, those thoughts that I've heard people say to me before they found career alignment. So I want you to think about this episode as the before picture, right? And then I'll tell you what the after picture is. The after picture is you doing work that feels really fulfilling to you, that honors your greatest gifts and talents, that honors the season that you're in, that allows you to show up as the kind of person you want to be in the relationships that are most important to you. For example, me, it allows me to show up as the mom that I want to be, the kind of wife that I want to be, the kind of friend or family member. I bring in good energy into those spaces because I feel excited about the work that I'm doing and it fits with my season of life. So that would be like the after picture. The before picture is the stuff we're talking about today on this episode. All right, so let's get into it. I got my notes here. So, one of the first most common things that I hear people tell me when they're like questioning if they should leave their role or what they should do is they just straight up say, like, I'm starting to dread what I'm doing every day. Like, when I think about logging in to do my work, I'm just like, like, I don't really want to do this. And they may be finding that their quality of work is affected, and that really bothers them because usually they're the type of people who really value quality, but they realize that their energy that they would normally bring into something, their normal self, that's not showing up with their work anymore. They're just like, I don't want to do it like this anymore. And this could be like the kind of people that they're working with. They feel like maybe they don't align with the same values, or the work itself has changed, or there's just so much on their plate. They just feeling like, again, they're dreading it for a variety of reasons. So that's the most common thing I hear people tell me. And they will often say things too, like I try to be really positive, like I try to listen to uplifting music. I try to think about what it is that I should be grateful for in this role, that other people would love to have this. At least I have money coming in. I can feed my family. I can, like they try to like bring the energy up, but it just ain't working. The work is causing them to dread it. So this brings me to my second point, and the thing that I hear people say is that the work is affecting how they are showing up in other areas of their life that are really important to them. Some of the things I hear people tell me is that I don't feel like I'm as energized and as present as the type of parent that I want to be. Like I when my workday ends, I'm kind of just like zapped out, and I feel like that's affecting my kids, or I feel like it's affecting my spouse because I'm not my normal happy self because this is so draining to me. So it's bleeding into these other areas of life that are important to them. Work is never just work. When people say that, it's like, no, you're a whole person, and the way that you're showing up in your work is going to affect how you show up in other areas of your life. This is why I'm so passionate about helping people with this problem, because I don't think it's just a work problem. I think it ends up being a life problem. And when you are working and you're not enjoying your life, it's causing you not to be the kind of person you want to be. Like, we got to fix this because that's not how you're meant to live. I have the chills just saying that because I don't believe that. And I know that, like, I personally, with my faith, I'm throwing it in here. God has given you special gifts and talents that you're meant to share with the world. And I feel like when you do that in a way that feels good to you, you will feel that energetically. You will feel so much better. And I think where there's a will, there's always a way. So let me get back on track. So it's the work is affecting other areas of your life. And I also hear people say like they're not taking care of their health as much as they would like to, because again, it's an energy thing or it's a time thing for them. And again, creative projects and other areas of their life, they're not doing the things that bring them joy as much anymore because they just feel like they don't have the energy to put into it. So those are common things I've heard. The third thought that people tell me is I keep trying to convince myself to stay. They don't say this always directly to me, but I pick it up in conversation. Like they will be like, "Well, I don't know, maybe if I this changes or maybe after this busy season or we get this additional funding or we hire this other person or this then I could work through it. Maybe I could stay, maybe things." And there's like this fear starts bubbling up as they think about leaving or they're like, "What if it's not the grass isn't greener on the other side? What if I lose this other thing?" Like my 401k or my benefits or whatever it is. What if I lose that or I don't get that? Like there's like fear around something bubbling up and there's like they start convincing themselves to stay. That is a common thing I hear and see. And I'm often here on the other being and giving them examples of how the grass could be greener on the other side because you're going to water that grass. You're going to take the intentional actions around that. You trust yourself to figure it out as you step out, just like you've always done in the past. Like I'm here hyping people up through it and giving them some good examples and stories from past clients. So the fourth thing that I have on my list is that they're always thinking about being somewhere else or doing something else. Like they're imagining this better life. And sometimes you look at someone else outside of you and you're like, I want that. Like I want my Tuesday to be like that, where I can take my kids to school and have a slow morning and have my coffee and maybe get a workout in before I jump into work stuff or like they're imagining life a different way and it keeps showing up for them. And then the fifth, or like this is on a little more negative side, but it's like when you start counting down like time until you're done doing the thing or until the weekend or the vacation, like that's another big sign too. But the fifth thought that is common is, oh, I already said this, it's affecting who you are outside of work. We're going to come back to this. The sixth is you're capable of more, but you're unsure how to make it happen. Like there's something inside you that's like, I'm meant for more than this. I'm not meant to just do this. I know I'm meant for more of this. I might be good at this. Other people think I'm good at this, but I feel like I'm meant for more than this. That is often showing up for them. And then they're like, I don't know. Like, let's make this the fifth one. I'll recap this so it makes sense because we're not in the sixth right now. We're gonna go back to the fifth. You don't know how you can make it happen. Like a lot of times people come to me and they think it's a clarity issue. Like they're like, I'm like not sure what I should be doing next. And usually once I start talking to them, I'm like, I feel like you're pretty clear. Like I don't think clarity really is the problem here. Like once we start talking, it's the how do I get there? It's like and would people really choose me for that thing? And it's like this insecurity around doing that thing that they haven't done yet in that way because they have been known for something else. It's that's bubbling up, but they like to blame it on a clarity issue. And again, I'm here to tell you it's usually not a clarity issue. You're pretty clear about what it is you don't want. You get pretty clear about what it is you do want. You struggle figuring out how to get there. And that's where like help and someone encouraging you to take that next step is really important and having a strategic process behind it that's really going to serve you. All right, I get too passionate about this. Let's move into my last one is that you can't picture yourself in this role in the way you're doing work. Like anytime, I want to say 5 years, but like even if I said, hey, a year from now and you're still doing what you're doing, how do you feel about that and the way that you're doing it? They're like, oh no, like, oh no, I don't want that. I can't imagine that. But the reality is you can't, we say you can't imagine it, but you can imagine it. When you start imagining it, you're like, absolutely not. Don't want to continue down this path. And then it kind of like when we talk about that, they're like, whoa, instead of being the person that was like convincing themselves to stay, they're like, yeah, you're right. Maybe like, maybe I can stay. So there's a lot of confusion back and forth between all these different thoughts that are showing up for people during this time. And I often have people telling me like I feel so seen by you. Like when they're talking to me about how they feel and I'm like because I've done this work with so many people that I'm like, yeah, I know. And I can like basically write down what you're going to say next because you're not alone in that. So many people have felt that way. But the majority of people, and the research shows this, are in roles that they don't like, that they don't find fulfilling, They're counting down the hours until they go home, until it's vacation, which is like, let's really think about that. You're counting down the hours of your life. Like, whoa, there's something wrong about that. Your life is a gift. Why are you counting it away, like wishing it away until you get to the next thing, versus intentionally working on designing something that honors you and the season that you're in and the life you want to create? You know, like I am the person that's like, that has this thought that to go all in on this because your life depends on it. Truly, your life does depend on it. The quality of your life depends on you enjoying your work, in my personal opinion. Why? Because when you don't really enjoy your work, and I'm talking about like you're gonna love every second of it. Duh, like we know that. You're not gonna love every single second of everything you do. But when you are in a role that you find really draining, that doesn't use your gifts, that really challenges your values, that's going to bleed into everything else that is important to you. That will cause you to not be the kind of partner you want to be, to not be the kind of parent you want to be. It's a bigger issue than just the career stuff. So this is why I feel so called to help people with this, because I'm on the after side, the before and after picture that we talked about. I'm on the after side and I'm so fulfilled by the work that I get to do. I feel like I'm using my gifts and talents. I do a variety of projects, like I'm working as a keynote speaker, talking about energy in the workplace, being really intentional with your communication and shifting energy and getting people to enjoy their work more, getting to influencing people in an authentic way to make the kind of impact that you want to make. I'm talking about that. That fulfills my soul, lights me up. I've been like studying comedy. I'm into creative projects around that because I have the time and the energy to work on that, even though I have two babies under two. Well, I can't say under two, my boy just turned two, but I got two very little ones. And then I'm creating programs that are fulfilling to me. And I get to have slow mornings and drink my coffee. I get to go for walks. I get to do the things that honor my health. And I'm working on goals with my husband, strengthening our marriage and our relationship. Like, but this wasn't just created. Like, I didn't just like poof, this happened. This was through intentional work of me getting clear around what it was I really wanted and what needed to happen to create that. And there's systems involved in this. So I just feel I want to help more people get to that place because I really believe I think that's where you're supposed to be, you know? I'll fix my hair over here. All right, y'all. I hope that you got a lot from this episode. We're going to do the quick recap, and then I want to hear from you too. So let me tell you. So, 7 thoughts, signs that I've heard people say to me before they're getting career fulfillment. This is the unfulfillment stage. These are signs that you may have outgrown the work that you are doing. So the first one we talked about was just simply dreading it. You find that when you're starting to do the work, you're dreading it in a way that you never have before. Quality may start to suffer, and you're not like that. You value quality, but you're like, I kind of don't really care about this anymore. And the second thing is that the work is affecting how you show up in other areas of your life, and it's affecting it in a negative way. The third is that you keep trying to convince yourself to stay. You find yourself doing that sometimes. You're like, oh, maybe it'll get better if I do this and this, fill in the blank. You're doing some of that stuff. You're always thinking, though, about being somewhere else and what life could be like if you had a certain thing that somebody else had, the freedom, the finances, the whatever it is. You're not here where you are because you don't want to be. You want to be in a different kind of role, but you're not sure what that is, and that drives you insane because there's lots of like confusion there too, which is a normal part of this process. And then we talked about it capable of more, but you're unsure how. We talked about that. So it's a lot of times it's like sometimes you're like, I think I know what I want to do, or I want these pieces of it, but I don't know how to get there. There's again confusion galore. And then again, you can't picture yourself in this role, doing work the kind of way that you are X years down the road. Even 1 year down the road, it terrifies you to think about it that way. I feel like I might have skipped something here, but that's the main summary that I wanted to share with you. I hope that this episode either makes you feel seen or makes you think of someone who may need this episode. The other thing I want to throw out there is I'm currently doing research interviews, we'll call it that, for the next program that I'm creating. And I would love your insights if you are feeling this type of way in your role. I'm not here to sell anything. My goal is this summer of 2026. If you're listening and it's summer of 2026, this still makes sense. So I have a link that you can click on and you can just pop on a call with me, schedule a time, pop on a call with me, and we will chat through this. And I will ask you some questions to help me design the best program for people that are in this situation. I've been doing this work for years, but I want my program, just maybe this is an ego thing. I want it to be one of the best programs out there to help people with this specific problem because I feel called to help people with this. And if you'd be willing to share your insights and how you feel about things, I really feel like that'll help shape this program. In return for that, my goal, my intention is that just having a conversation together, I can help you in some way too, or we can at least make a connection. That would be great. So if you feel like you're open to doing that, again, don't be afraid. I'm not trying to sell you anything. I just want to get your wisdom. I don't have anything to sell right now. The program isn't out there right now. I am working with people one-on-one, but that's a different thing. And I'm very limited in how many roles I have. I actually don't have any spots open currently while I'm recording this episode. So that's not the intention. I just want to say that because sometimes people will be putting you on a call and then you're like, oh, that was annoying. That was like a whole sales thing. And it like took your energy. That's not what I'm about, not what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to create something that really helps people with this problem because I know the after picture. I know that we all have the ability to get to the other side and really enjoy our lives. And I believe that's what we're meant to do. But I need help and wisdom to get there. And I want to do this really intentionally, hence the Intentional Mind podcast. That's a brand. That's something that's really important to me is communicating intentionally, living your life very intentionally. All right, I digress. I hope you get the point here. So if you do want to chat or you know someone that's willing to provide insight, send them the link. It's in the detail section of the podcast show notes or description. All right, friends, thank you so much for being here. I value and appreciate you so much. Have a blessed day.